Ano nga ba ang totoo at ano ba ang chismis lang tungkol sa breastfeeding? Yan ang pag-uusapan natin today with the experts dito sa episode ng A-Mark the Podcast.
This month of August is National Breastfeeding Awareness Month. Buwan natin ito, mga breastfeeding mamas. At kung kayo naman ay hindi nakapag-breastfeed, okay lang po yan, mami. Dahil alam ko, you are giving the best love and care to your baby in the best ways you know how.
Okay, our special guest for this episode, pareho po silang doctors. She's a pediatrician and he's also a doctor, and of course, one of their advocacies na very close to both their hearts is breastfeeding. Yung topic po natin for this episode.
Exciting.
Of course, she with her patients and their parents, and he with the different sectors and organizations that he worked for both locally and internationally, and at home. Siyempre, ganun din. Kasigasig itong dalawang ito with their own 3 daughters. Ladies and gentlemen, our special guests, Dr. Nadine and Paul Zambrano. Hi, guys!
Hello.
Kami po ay napakaswerte dahil meron po kaming, we call them Tita Dr. Nadine and Tito Dico Paul. Dahil pag meron kaming mga kailangan at problemang medikal, sila po ang aming unang tatawagan. Kaya napakaswerte namin at nagpapasalamat kami.
That's true. So as mentioned kanina, itong advocacy that's very close to their hearts, itong breastfeeding. The reason why we chose breastfeeding is because ito pong buwan na to is National Breastfeeding Month.
Mhm.
And of course, it's also observed worldwide. Tama ba, guys? Tama, it's observed worldwide, ano?
World Breastfeeding Week worldwide.
Yeah.
First week of August. Pero sa Philippines, Breastfeeding Month ang buong August.
Mhm. And the reason why po ako ay isang matagumpay na breastfeeding mom for 5 years ay dahil po kay Tita Dr. Nadine at Tito Dico Paul kasi talaga naman po in-encourage nila ako at pinulungan na pagtagumpayan ng pagbe-breastfeeding kahit gaano po ito kahirap. Idol ko silang dalawa. At dahil dyan marami tayong katanungan, I'm sure marami po kayong katanungan na pwede nilang sagutin mga myths, 'di ba? Na pwede nilang i-explain sa atin.
That's right, that's right. Ang dami kasing myths, okay, surrounding breastfeeding. Ang daming maling paniniwala. Meron namang mga paniniwala na medyo tama pero kailangan din i-correct. Especially, I think that the people who will benefit from this ay yung mga bagong parents. Yung sisimula pa lang, new mothers and new parents sa mga kanilang mga anak. Okay, so we have a series of questions na tatanungin natin, and Dr. Nadine and Dr. Paul will shed light dun sa mga questions na to, okay? First question is a very general question, okay? Ang tanong dito, for all the new mothers out there asking, is breastfeeding easy? Madali ba mag-breastfeed ng baby? Whoever wants to answer.
Sige, I will start. Ano siya, ako talaga.
Pinasa.
Breastfeeding is a natural part of nurturing our babies, diba? But it doesn't mean that it will instantly be easy. Okay, so there is a skill that is needed to be able to start the breastfeeding process and to sustain it and to reach whatever goal you want. 6 months ba yan? 1 year ba yan? 2 years ba yan? Or until my child is ready and I am ready to wean her from breastfeeding. May skill talaga yan at may grit involved din yan. And also, family has to be part of it also. Kailangan supportive din talaga. Hindi automatic yan na, basta isalpak mo lang si baby sa breast mommy, okay na yan. That's not how it goes and that's not how it is most of the time. And that's why ako parang I really want to advocate na even before baby is born, matuturuan na yung mommy at yung family para prepared na sila sa pwedeng mangyari once the baby is out. Kasi nga, ano siya yun nga, it's a misconception na basta ano mo lang yan, dadating din yung gatas. And a lot of moms feel inadequate eventually when the milk doesn't start coming in. So, yun.
Yeah.
Baka may madadagdag ka pa.
Oo.
O Paul, baka ikaw pwede mong dagdag yung sa ano nga pala. Kasi syempre iniisip ng mga daddies dyan, si mami lang naman papadede. What can you do to help? Ano ang role ng fathers pagdating sa breastfeeding? Maybe you can add to that, Paul.
Yeah. So from personal experience, yun nga, partly to answer your question, hindi talaga madali mag-breastfeed because a lot of things have to hindi lang doon sa mommy, it's not just about the mommy and the baby yung mga nakapaligid din doon sa mommy, kailangan sinusuportahan siya, kailangan lahat, kumbaga, pulling in the same direction. Kasi pag nag-introduce ka ng doubt doon sa mommy, doubt doon sa capability niya, doubt doon sa whether si baby ba na feed ng enough or hindi, then mas lalong nahihirapan. So, I think one of the maraming role na pwedeng i-play yung father, di ba? So, yung una doon is the time that the moms need to breastfeed, lalo na doon sa simula, sa early part, yung early life ni baby, madalas yan, di ba? So, yung time naman natin in the day, fixed naman yan, 24 hours, hindi na dadagdagan. So, if you can help mom to free up some time so she can breastfeed when the baby needs to, then malaking bagay na yun. Pangalawa, yung be informed din. Dapat alam din ni daddy kung ano yung misconceptions, ano yung mga myths, ano yung mga challenges na pwede mangyari para kasama siya doon sa first line of defense pag dumating yung mga doubts na yun, yung mga challenges na yun. Imbis na mag-contribute siya doon sa parang yung doubt and feelings of inadequacy, kailangan nandun siya to say na hindi. Na-expect natin to, alam natin hindi magiging madali, we know na pwedeng mangyari tong challenges na to, and we know na masusolusyonan to. So, sige lang, well, I'm here. Let's support.
Yeah.
So, yun, 2 examples. Another one will be, kunwari, medyo part din siya of being well-informed, and yung sinabi ni Nadine na dapat before pregnancy pa lang, meron ng breastfeeding plan or strategy. Yung dapat kasama na yung daddy dun. So dapat it's our plan for how we will breastfeed the baby. It's not my wife's plan. It's not my pediatrician's plan. It's our plan. Kasama ako dun. So, well, mom is the one doing yung actual breastfeeding. Kumbaga nandun si daddy na kumbaga kumbaga nandun siya, right hand person to do anything else that will help the mom. So, I think those are a few. Marami pa yan, pero those are just the main ones na naisip ko na from my own experience na I think that I tried to do for Nadine, but also yung na-realize ko as we go na doon ako makakatulong sa kanya.
Ginagawa ko ba yun?
Ginagawa mo naman yung...
Kinabahan it.
Oo, ginawa mo. No, based on experience, bukod sa, syempre sa suporta mo, yung suporta ng buong pamilya. I have your parents and most especially nga si Tita Nadine o Doc Nadine. Naaalala ko ito, yung first few weeks ni Zandrine. I was a first-time mom. It was pandemic. So, grabe yung takot mo. And then, here comes Zandrine na iyak ng iyak, na feeling mo hindi makalatch ng maigi, na my breasts, feeling ko they're so swollen with milk, tapos hindi kami makapag-feed ng maayos. Nararamdaman ko, naalala ko yung kwento ng ibang nanay na at that point they almost gave up. So kung wala kang maayos na support system, baka nga biglaan mo na lang ayoko na mag-breastfeed kasi natatakot ako because my baby's crying and she's hungry. So sasaka na lang natin ng formula. Ganun yung nangyayari. But I was lucky na tita na din talaga kahit si Tita Nadine and Tito Paul, kahit pandemic noon, pumunta sila sa akin. Bagong CS ako and they really helped me. As in, ganyan, excuse me po, no? Talagang si Tita Nadine, she held my breast and then talagang nilagay kay Zandrine, ganon. So, talagang totoong grit. Yung may grit talaga, di ba, Tita Nats? Kailangan matapang mong harapin kahit masakit yan. And I remember, bago ko lumabas sa ospital, sabi ni Tita Nads, you have to see a lactation nurse, right? So, ipapakita niya sa'yo. So, ano yun, bigla siyang crash course ng breastfeeding.
Kaya nangyari
Yeah,
parang
kasi yung
iniiyakan
ano,
talaga
wants
eh.
to be ano eh, gusto mo confident yung mommy eh. Kailangan
lalo
yung,
first
nandun yung
time
mindset
eh.
talaga na I will be able to feed my child. But it won't be successful unless you have a good supporting cast.
Oo.
Unless you have a good supportive partner and a supportive family.
Yun yung mahirap dun sa myth na madali lang yung breastfeeding eh. Kasi pag sinasabi mo na isang bagay, madali lang yan. Tapos kung bilang hindi na madali, nakakasira ng confidence, di ba?
Yes.
So, kaya ang sa breastfeeding counseling, you never say to a mom na madali lang yan, kaya mo yan.
Mm-mm.
Kaya mo yan, yes. Pero yung madali lang, hindi. No, hindi siya dapat hindi siya ganoon ka-helpful.
Yeah.
Kaya dangerous talaga yung myth na yan.
Mm-mm.
The next question is it normal for breastfeeding to hurt? Are sore nipples inevitable?
Okay. Ako pa.
Ay, roll ni Paul.
Okay, yeah. Yes, it can be uncomfortable or painful at the start, especially because the nipples tend to be more tender during the start of delivery and kasi may na yun eh, the hormones are in place and it's preparing, all of these hormones are preparing your body, the mom's body, to produce the milk and to provide the milk to the baby. So, mas sensitive talaga yung nipples. But, I usually I tell my patients that if it is still painful or kung nagkakasugat na pag naglalatch si baby, especially pag mga 3rd, 4th, 5th day na, tapos ganun pa rin, that means there might be something wrong with the way that baby is latching. So again, the counseling is important, and the pediatrician or the lactation nurse or basta the doctor in charge of the mom and baby have to really be mindful, lalo na pag chine-check, nagra-rounds, 'di ba, ganyan, bago pa uwiin, iche-check talaga, dapat siguraduhin na puwede ko bang matingnan kung paano mag-breastfeed si baby sa'yo, mommy. Kasi gusto ko makita kung maganda at tama yung pag-latch niya sa'yo. Kasi mararamdaman mo pag mali yung latch. Pag masakit, ibig sabihin mababaw. Ibig sabihin yung nipple lang yung nakukuha sa'yo at hindi maganda yung pagkabuka ng bibig ni baby. So, ibig sabihin din nun, hindi makaka-produce ng enough milk yung body mo kasi hindi nakakatanggap ng tamang signals yung utak na mag-produce ng gatas kay baby. So, yun. So, it can be painful at the first few days. But, if it is sustained throughout the first week, tapos umiiyak na si mommy, yung iba nagkaka-infection na rin nga, nagkaka-engorgement na hindi na talaga na correct, may problema na yun sa pag-latch. So, that's when proper counseling and reassessing how baby is breastfeeding should come in. Yeah.
So to answer your question, is it normal or not? I think hindi siya normal, but it's one of the possible problems na pwede mong ma-expect in a new breastfeeding mom. And it's a problem that kung makita mo siya, it points to something na dapat tingnan pa. So yung sabi nga ni Nadine, pag may pain, you have to check mo muna kamusta yung pagkakakabit ni baby dun sa breast. Baka may kailangan i-correct ng konti sa position, ganun. So, hindi siya normal, pero pwede siyang mangyari. And kung mangyari siya, it just means na may kailangang i-address dun sa technique ng pag-breastfeed or dun sa So, just yung kailangan lang ni mommy ng additional support.
Saan po pwedeng humingi ng counseling ang mga mommies? Kasi most of the new moms pag-uwi at hindi sila naging matagumpay doon sa breastfeeding nila, parang nagi-give up na lang. Hindi nila alam na meron palang mga counseling. So, where do they seek counseling from?
Okay. So, I think ang ideal, what the government is trying to do is dapat yun na before manganak pa lang, meron ng counseling na binibigay. So yung counseling mo, is proactive, hindi lang reactive.
Yeah.
Hindi yung pag may problema lang. So dapat dun pa lang start na. Pag pinanganak na si baby, yung first line ng counseling mo will be doon sa hospital or yung birthing facility kung saan siya pinanganak. So ang nagpo-provide nun will be could be the pediatrician, sana nga yung OB din. And then for hospitals that are called baby-friendly hospitals, meron na yung tinatawag na, sabi ni Nadine, yung lactation nurse, na someone na talagang trained to assess mothers or breastfeeding, trained na spot yung mga tama at maling technique. Yun. Trained din sila na to do the first initial troubleshooting, para pag yung goal nila, pag si mommy, hindi nila i-discharge or hindi nila i-recommend na ma-discharge hanggat hindi tama yung na-observe nilang latch,
Yeah.
all of that, no? Ngayon, yun nga, correct ka dyan. Paglabas ng hospital, paano na? So paglabas ng hospital, in different parts of the country, medyo iba-iba. In some provinces, meron silang magandang community support group that or community counseling that's provided by like barangay health workers and barangay nutrition scholars or the midwife. Sana nga sa lahat, pero hindi pare-pareho lahat for now. Meron din naman yung mga peer counseling networks that are formed na hindi naman sila talaga government or they're not, talagang a group of moms who just came together to provide support to other moms. So may mga ganong networks. So siguro si Nadine can add a bit more on her experience as in the hospital but also working with those groups for patients na napauwi na niya.
So, meron na ring organization, the Philippine Society of Breastfeeding and Lactation Medicine. So, it's a ano ba talaga tawag dito? Parang may OB-GYN doon, may pediatricians doon, may nurses, may community workers also. So, all of them are breastfeeding advocates. Marami sa kanila nag-receive na ng what's called lactation management training. So kasama na doon yung lactation nurses, even those in the community who offer their services undergo that. It's under DOH. Ako wala pa ako noon, pero kasi from the training na from residency and onwards, doon ako natuto din how to counsel parents and especially mothers. Pero okay yung advocacy nila kasi yun nga, they're there to ramp up the proactive approach in teaching mothers, and also they're also there once the baby is out. And their goal, of course, is that once they get home, once they are home, they know who to run to, who to contact whenever they feel that okay, kailangan ko ng suporta ngayon at kailangan ko ng reassurance na tama yung ginagawa ko dito sa breastfeeding journey na tinatahak ko ngayon. So, yun. So, aside from that, of course, they have the Human Milk Bank, part na yun ng PSBLM, but yeah, that's it. So, nung panahon, nung pinanganak mo si Sandrine, si lactation nurse talaga yung parang okay. Talagang thankful ako para doon kay Ma'am Juvie. Tama, di ba? Yun yung name niya. And then, eventually, I also had patients who, yun nga, nag-request sa bahay, pwede bang pumunta. So, meron din akong nakuha na isang tawag dito, nagla-lactation counseling at home. So, she provides home service. So, yun. Pero yun nga, it's been parang years din for these services to ramp up. And Paul knows kung gaano ako frustrated sa kasi gusto ko talaga, I mean, it's the best, diba? Breast milk is definitely the best for babies. And on paper, it's good, pero parang sa practice, medyo mahirap siya. It's a struggle. So I'm hoping that eventually yun nga, mas magiging smooth yung gano'n, yung even in the community, you already know who to run to and who to
Mm.
contact. Wala ng problema ng pagtatanong-tanong. Meron dati. Pero ngayon hindi ko alam kung nasu-sustain nila
Mm.
yung groups nila
Maraming
online. Oo.
maraming informal peer networks. Hindi ko lang
Yeah.
kabisado lahat ng names nila. Minsan di kasi mga members ng isa same yung sa isa kasi nga yung advocates usually nasasama-sama yan. Ito.
So,
Yun. So may mga ganung support both within the formal system and through informal but I guess the key doon is yung breastfeeding counseling, maraming unnew yan eh. There's the more technical side na talagang pag mas complicated yung problem, then you need a more parang doon na pumapasok yung tinatawag nating lactation consultants na talagang dumaan sa formal training. But for very common breastfeeding problems, you don't really need yung mga super specialist na counselors. Like I mentioned, maraming community health workers na have some form of training who can provide that support. Lalo na sa mga very common na problems na kailangan i-troubleshoot. So,
Yeah.
yun.
Meron akong follow-up question.
Sige.
Oo. Kasi meron akong kaibigan, first time mom niya. And excited ako for her, syempre, di ba? And then nung huli kaming nagkita, so ko, how's your baby? Nag-breastfeed ko pa kasi yun yung mga unang itatanong ko. Di ba, ate, hindi ako nakapag-breastfeed. Sabi ko, why? Sabi niya kasi ate, yun nga, yung nipples niya daw are inverted. At sobrang sakit nga daw talaga. So, wala naman ako masabi kasi hindi naman inverted yung akin. So, parang, okay. So, paano nga ba yun, tita and tito? Paano nga ba yun? Is there a way to really breastfeed even if you have inverted nipples? Parang, she tried using daw this, I don't know, is it a silicone?
lactation
Ganyan?
shield.
Oo, pero
Yung
hindi daw
parang
nag-work.
shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first line na ginagawa. Tinatry i-shape yung nipple. More of because maliit yung bibig ng baby. So medyo mas mahirap pag inverted kasi mas kailangan, medyo mas may effort siyang, parang tawag dito, yung hamburger, yung tawag namin dun eh.
Yung
The hamburger
gaganon.
technique, yung pag-latch
Oo.
niya. But it is possible. Yun nga, so others try yung paggamit ng pump para lang lumabas yung nipple. Oo. And then the others even try as simple as the tip of a bigger syringe, larger size syringe na para lang ma-pull out
Lumabas.
yung
Oo.
nipple. So maraming
Parang sakit
ways
nun.
to do.
Sakit mo,
Oo.
imagine ko pa lang eh.
Ano naman siya? I mean, hindi naman siya yung
Hindi naman
brutal
siya
na brutal. Hindi naman brutal. And also, kailangan kasi ita-timing na bukang-buka yung bibig ni baby. Tapos saka,
Para
saka
makasalo ka
papasok yung-
agad.
Oo, makakaklamp ng maayos.
Oo.
So that one is a common problem, inverted nipples. And a lot of mothers do say na ang hirap kasi, hindi ko na magagawa kasi inverted yung nipple ko. Pero yun nga, the mindset. What is your goal? What is your, parang yun lang. Yun ba ay enough na for you to say na, okay, this is where I end my breastfeeding journey, my attempts at breastfeeding, or do you try to look for other ways to provide that best golden milk for your child? Pwede naman, if you want, you can just collect your milk and give that to your baby. Pwede naman din. But again, it depends on the mother and the partner, the father and the family.
Saka mahirap din, parang the last thing you want to do also is to impart judgment on a decision ng mom, no? So, kunwari, ang inverted nipple, kumbaga, hindi lahat naman ng cases ng pare-pareho. Hindi lahat, not all mothers have the resources to try all the different options na pwede mong gamitin to solve the problem. Hindi mo rin alam yung quality of counseling and support na meron sila around them. So, yun, I guess that's one important message na yun nga, dahil you need all of these factors around you to do it. It's also not fair to judge what mothers decide to do or not to do. So, yun.
Okay. Let's go to the next question.
Teka, hindi gusto ko nang ipasok to ulit. Last
Oh, sige, go. Nanay talaga eh. Pang nanay naman talaga to, kaya sige na.
Hindi, nabanggit kasi ni Doc Paul yung judge, okay, yung pagja-judge. Kasi nga, ideally, magbe-breastfeed talaga dapat ang mommy. But, if in that case nga, yung kakilala ko, nag-mix feed na siya because nga inverted yung kanyang nipples. Meron namang iba, yung kwento nila, wala talagang lumalabas, mahina talaga yung milk ko. Kaya, instead makita ko yung anak ko na nagugutom, dahil nga hindi ako makapag-produce ng enough milk, nag-mix feed na and eventually nag-formula. So, kaya ako gustong sabihin yung pagja-judge. As breastfeeding advocates, what if ganun nga yung case nila? May ganun po ba talaga, yung mahina yung milk? And then, do you eventually recommend formula na or mixed feeding?
Okay. Ang hirap ng tanong. Ang hirap. Hindi.
Nagkaroon ka na ba ng ganung
naman.
pasyente?
Diba may narinig pa nga tayo. Wala akong gatas. Diba may ganun pa nga. Walang lumalabas.
Ano kasi, yun nga, it always stems from, una, ano ba yung perception nyo sa process of breastfeeding even before baby came out. So, kasi yun nga, yung unang myth natin, breastfeeding is easy. Hindi nga siya easy. So, parang, yun na nga. So, then, because the milk doesn't set in quickly, ano ba yung unang sinabi sa inyo ng ina-expect ba na magfo-flow agad yung milk? Okay. Hindi. It doesn't flow immediately. The first milk that comes out is your colostrum, which is very, very thick and very, very minimal. And in fact, the volume can be just the size of a calamansi. Very small. You won't even be aware that your baby was able to take that in at the very first time that she suckled. So, yun. So, iisipin na, okay, so, bakit day 1 na, day 2 na, tapos iyak na iyak yung bata, iyak na iyak yung baby. Maybe I'm not giving, there's no milk coming out. And even if I squeeze the nipple, wala talagang lumalabas. So the reality check there is, at the first 2 days, 1 to 2 days, hindi talaga magfo-flow yung milk mo. It doesn't flow. And at that point, the baby is very eager to suckle because she wants to help your body to produce that milk. Okay, so you want that supply and demand. The more that your baby suckles, the more that your body will start producing. Masasignal na yan sa brain mo. Pero the problem there is...
First time mom, mas makinig tayo. Ang ganda nito.
Is, kasi may adjustments na yan sa sleep din ninyo. You're sleep deprived. Gaano ba katagal yung labor ng nanay? Gaano ba
Na-CS
katagal
ka ba?
naghihintay yung tatay? Na-CS ka ba? Normal ba? Traumatic delivery ba? So, ang daming factors. And so, the critical point na feeling mo walang lumalabas, yung 1 to 2 days na yun din yung 1 to 2 days na hilong-hilo kayo. And so, you start feeling that maybe inadequate yung napoproduce ko. And I can say personally, kami rin, kahit doktor kami, sa first baby namin, we started doubting already, was I producing enough milk? Kasi iyak nang iyak yung una naming anak. And syempre theoretically, alam namin paano mag-position. But when the baby is there already, okay, what do I do, diba? So, ganun yun. Especially for CS moms, kasi meron kang sugat. Iba yung pakiramdam.
It's to recover ka pa sa anesthesia and all of that.
So, coming from that, Yung ako as a pediatrician, I just try my best to counsel and support the mom, answer their questions, and alleviate their doubts, especially during the time that they're at the hospital. Pero you can only do so much. So when they come back, I ask them to come back mga 3 to 4 days after I send them home para nga masigurado ko na okay pa rin si baby, walang problems. Sometimes nahihiya sila na parang, "Doc, nagbigay na kami ng formula." Eh, okay, sige parang, I cannot ano naman na parang, "Ay hindi, ayoko na." Hindi naman puwedeng gano'n. Siyempre yung ano pa rin nila is what they feel would be best for baby. So I would still say, "Okay, but you already know that ako mismo my stance is that the milk that is coming from you will always be the best for your baby, and there are a number of reasons that hopefully we can discuss later also kung ano yung benefits kay baby." Pero yun, I withhold judgment. I don't want them to feel na mali yung decision nila. Kasi siyempre yung at the best interest pa rin naman para sa anak nila yung ano. And there are mothers who eventually stop the milk formula and continue with their breastfeeding, and I'm happy with that. But there are those who talagang nagmi-mix, and then I just have to tell them na ano, na yung expectation natin diyan dahil nag-mix na kayo, baka eventually magde-dwindle down din yung milk supply ninyo. So parang just so you know that this is what's going to happen. So yun.
Mm.
Meron ka pa bang idadagdag? Parang dami ko na sinabi.
Yeah, feedback loop siya.
Pero ang ganda ng points. Ang ganda ng points na yun.
So yung katawan ng mom when the baby is born, nagpe-prepare na talaga yan to breastfeed. Kasi wala, yun yung natural programming ng katawan ng human beings. So yung feedback loop concept, di ba? Yung tamang latch ni baby sends a signal to the mom's brain to produce the milk. So parang ganun, feedback loop siya. So kung ma-interrupt yung loop na yun, so kung hindi maganda yung latch ni baby or talagang hindi siya bine-breastfeed ng mom from the very start, then mas lalong walang lalabas na milk. But yung statement na yun na kulang yung gatas ko, if I were a breastfeeding counselor and I heard that, yung una kong i-discuss sa mommy, bakit mo nararamdaman,
What makes
bakit
you think?
tingin mo, syempre hindi ganun yung pagtatanong, di ba? But the question is, why does she feel na insufficient yung milk niya? So doon na papasok yung pag-probe mo ng konti. So doon na sabihin ni mami, siguro iyak dahil si baby umiiyak lagi, parang hindi siya nagbubusog or hindi ko na-feel na may lumalabas. And all of that are different things na that don't say na kulang yung milk. Pero yun nga, as of someone who's researched breastfeeding in the breastfeeding research community, may tawag dyan, it's called SRIM, parang SRIM, subjectively reported insufficiency of milk, something like that, baka hindi exactly. So talagang it's a documented phenomenon na nangyayari talaga na for many reasons, there are mothers who they self-report na insufficient yung milk nila kahit hindi naman talaga. And there are many reasons behind that. Yung one, baka hindi sila, maybe it's the first few days, hindi talaga pa nagfo-flow, but the baby is latching well. Second, yung baka iba yung cues na hinahanap nila to say na busog si baby. Hindi naman siya parang adult na pagbusog talagang di ba? And then baka hindi sila na-counsel na yung ang liit-liit lang naman ang stomach ni baby kahit konting lang yan, hindi naman niya kailangan sobrang lumaki yan siya, parang to say na busog siya sa isang feed. So, it really happens. So, yung factors na nagko-contribute doon, one are kung na-counsel ba ng maayos yung mom during the hospital. Second is yung mas nangyayari siya sa mga cesarean kasi nadidelay lalo na yung hospitals na hindi kaagad pinapagsama yung mommy at baby. So, yung unang latch na napapatagal, yung latch nga na yun and yung unang skin to skin, yun yung sa start ng feedback.
Yun, yeah.
Oo. Tapos, syempre, nandyan din yung it has to be said na talagang may mga marketing tactics talaga na yun yung ganun yung atake nila sa mga mom. They try to exploit yung feeling mo na insufficient yung gatas mo.
Yeah.
Na parang pati yung things about pain, na parang bakit ka ba magtitiis sa pain? Bakit mo ba titiisin na gutom yung anak mo? Where nandito naman so ka-factor din yun.
That's true.
Yeah.
Diba? So there's all of that. But yeah, that's a good, thank you for bringing that up. Important yung, isa yun sa mga key things na kailangan i-troubleshoot ng, ng counseling, whether it's the ped or the lactation nurse or even sa community.
Yeah.
Ang ganda ng mga
Siguro,
points na
ang ganda nga na napag-usapan na yun. But since nandun na tayo dun sa nabanggit na yung formula, nabanggit na yung marketing na yan, this is probably what I think, guys, all parents should know. Ang dami nating nakikita. Just go to the grocery. Makikita nyo iba-ibang klaseng lata ng formula claiming this to be the complete food for your baby. Merong iba nakakita natin na ang claim nila, this is even better than breast milk because it has this, that. Ano ba talaga is it really safe to say that formula can completely replace a mother's breast milk? Why and why not?
No.
Go, Paul. Pag-usapan na natin to.
Hindi,
Okay,
kasi,
wala akong
sige. Well, una, what's in breast milk? So, yung breast milk kasi hindi lang naman siya, it's not just food, di ba? Hindi lang naman siya source of proteins, fats, and energy for the baby. Nandun din yung mga immune factors, nandun yung mga antibodies. Kaya nga first vaccine yung tawag sa kanya, diba? Yung habang wala pa, yung hindi pa buo yung immune system ni baby, pinapasa ng mommy through the breast milk yung antibodies niya doon sa anak niya. Through the breast milk and through the feeding, yung pagdikit ng balat nila, may napapasa na antibodies through that. Tapos, ang daming research recently that looks into the other molecules that are in breast milk.
Yeah.
And grabe, the more you research it, the more you realize kung gaano na hindi mo siya talaga. How can we ever hope to replicate something like it? No? Para siya talagang it evolved over millennia to be the perfect nutrition and others for a human baby. So hindi mo naman ma-replicate in a lab yun, no? So, but I think, a couple of things, no? So, yung sa formula, yeah, the marketing is really a problem. In fact, bawal legally for them to market infant formula as equivalent to breast milk. Hindi nila pwede sabihin yun. So, kung natatandaan mo, kuya, dati yung mga time natin, like the Pro Milk Kid and yung mga ganong gifted, ganon. Hindi na pwede yun kasi hindi bawal mo na i-market yung product mo as equivalent to breast milk because it's technically not. Scientifically, anything, hindi talaga. So, let's get that out of the way. No?
Muna sa dulo, breastfeeding is still best.
It's still best for babies. Meron na
until
laging
2. May ganun na sa dulo sila.
Yeah.
Tapos, hindi ka rin pwede magsabi ng mga claim, magbigay ng mga claim na mapapatalino yung baby. But you may know how companies are, so sophisticated operations, and they find a way around it, di ba? So sabihin nila, itong gatas namin merong ganitong molecule. Itong molecule na to nasa breast milk din. Pero yung nasa gatas, there's one of that molecule, pero sa breast milk there are hundreds different variations of that molecule. No? So para mo sinabing bigyan kita ng 5 pesos, pero I can actually give you, and there's other thing that has like 1 million pesos. Parang ganun. So, tapos yun din, yung they like to make, yung interpretation mo na same sila ng breast milk, even if decades na lumipas na bawal nilang gawin yun, pero nandun pa rin. That means, ang clever talaga ng marketing nila. Kasi isa pang ginagawa nila, there's infant formula, lalabel nila as milk 0 or milk 1. Tapos yung milk for older children, 2, and then 3, and then 4.
Yeah,
So pag nakita mo yun, in your mind, kailangan ko ibigay lahat yun. No? Ayun yung, parang kailangan ko ibigay lahat yun. Yun yung sequence. I need to give them these milks at these certain ages. Kasi sabihin pa nila, made scientifically formulated for children in this age group. Pero kung titignan mo yung same product din in a different country, it's for children of a different age. Kasi doon sa bansa na yun, iba yung batas, iba yung bawal at hindi. So hindi talaga siya specially formulated. So maraming ganung hindi magandang marketing practice. Saka yung nga, ang hindi maganda doon, which I've researched this myself, yung they're exploiting yung mga common fears ng mga mom, yung mga apprehensions mo as a breastfeeding mom. Talagang kakagatin nila yon. Talagang they will hone in on that. Tingin mo kulang yung milk ng okay lang yan, mommy. May mga ganun. So talagang very exploitative. Kaya hindi siya talaga nakakatulong at all. So, but don't get me wrong na it's the marketing that's the problem. We're not saying ipagbawal dapat yung mga yan. We're saying that if mothers do choose to use them, dapat it's an informed choice in consultation with their health professional based on her own individual circumstance. Hindi dahil dapat na-affect siya ng marketing na hindi naman objective, di ba? So, sinasabi lagi ng companies, we want to be able to market because mothers need to know about our product. Totoo naman yan. Legally naman, you're required to say what the ingredients in your product are. Pero, alam mo naman yung gagawin nila. If you let them do that, then they will do a lot more, So, it's about informed choice then. And then also understanding the risk of using the formula. So, hindi lang naman siya, there's the risk of, dahil hindi siya nag-receive ng breast milk, may trade-off yun. Yung mga hindi mo nakuha sa breast milk, that's one. And second, yung product na yun, may mga problems din. It's been linked with an increased risk of non-communicable disease later in life. Marami tayong naririnig na reports ng mga milk na contaminated pala kasi hindi naman yung sterile na product. Tapos hindi mo rin naman mag-guarantee na yung mothers are able to formulate it the proper way pag nandun sa bahay, kahit may instructions. So the choice to do that, dapat kasama lahat
Dapat
ng
awareness
knowledge na yun, full knowledge of all the risks and hindi dahil narinig lang nila sa isang marketing or sa commercial or nabasa nila or narinig nila sa isang company rep sa butika na nagsalita about the milk. So yun yung haba ng sagot.
Formula is still a processed kind of food. And yun nga, hindi lang naman calories nga yung pinoprovide natin sa babies natin. That's not the only thing we want for them to gain from milk. Yung breast milk is ever-changing. It's alive. When you look at it under a microscope, you see all these
It's alive.
components, all these organisms. It changes in every feeding. Every mother produces something different for their child. It's very unique. So how can you say that it is easily reproducible with formula that is static? Na every scoop mo of it's just the same. Pag may sakit yung bata, nag-iiba din yung milk ng mommy. Nagpo-provide ng more antibodies. And actually, if you will notice, if a baby is sick, they tend to breastfeed more. And so they're gaining more of the calories that they need. They're gaining more of the antibodies that they need to help them recover quicker.
Okay.
So, ang daming advantages talaga ng breast milk na hindi talaga magagaya ng kahit anong kumpanya na gagawa ng milk formula. And yun na nga, it sets them up also for obesity. It sets them up for early cardiovascular complications, when in fact breast milk is protective for that. It protects our babies from obesity, protects our babies from diabetes, things that we ourselves, we were exposed to it na rin kasi nga nabigyan na tayo na nung babies tayo. But yun nga, at this point kasi in time, we also know better. And that's why we want to teach our patients the best possible knowledge that we have gained already from the years of research and experience, thankfully done by our very very masisipag na scientists at
Mhm.
researchers. So we owe it to them also kasi sila din, they put out all this effort to learn more about um about what would help our future generations grow up better
Mm.
and healthier.
Kaya nga din part din ng nire-research, yung mga na-research. So, kunwari, yung, pati yung, ano ba yung best way to counsel a mom, o ano ba yung kailangan ng parents
Yeah.
in the environment around them to support their breastfeeding, ano ba yung harm ng marketing. Lahat yan science-based. It's all research yan. There's research linked to all of that. When we say, formula increases the risk of non-communicable disease, may research back yan. When we say breast milk has this and this and this, research back then. When we say breastfeeding even protects moms from cancer and improves mothers' mental health, science din yan. So, unfortunately, ganun din. Yung formula, science din naman yun. It improves gradually. So, kahit pag medyo nagka-catch up din tayo from the generation na masyadong naging loose sa how they allowed formula to be marketed. So, parang we're still playing catch up. So, I think yung pinaka-important ngayon is yung breastfeeding, hindi mo, yes, it's an individual practice. Yung mommy yung gumagawa with her baby, pero equally important everything around her. So like nabanggit mo, Isel, gusto mo mag-exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months, pero yung maternity leave mo, lang. Si daddy gusto maging supportive sa exclusive breastfeeding. Meron ba tayong paternity leave? 2 weeks? Diba?
Yeah.
So, enough ba yun? Ayun. So, may mga ganung bagay. Yung looking at the tawag nila structural determinants of breastfeeding. And kasi policy yung solution dun Hindi naman breastfeeding counts the solution to better policy.
Nabasa sa ibang bansa, parang yung maternity leave nila a year.
Yeah.
So they get to really, like if they're breastfeeding, my gosh, that's a year of just you and the mommy together, di ba? Ang sarap
Yeah.
nun. Lalo kasi nga sa bansa natin, well, ang maternity leave natin, 3 months lang ba, Doc Paul? Or 6?
105 days. Pero ano na yun?
3 months.
Expanded na yun dati.
Diba, pinahaba pa
30
nga
or
yun.
45?
Grabe.
Yeah.
So, syempre, kung ikaw, nagbe-breastfeed ka, talagang gagawan mo ng paraan. Magpa-pump ka, magfi-freeze ka. Yun ang nangyari.
Yeah.
Oy, yun talaga tinuro sa akin ni Tita Nadine yun. Nung nagsa-start na akong mag-taping, baka talagang meron akong baon na breast pump sa trabaho. Tapos, meron akong cooler. Tapos ilalagay ko yan minsan papadala ko pa yan via let's say Lala Move. Basta may nakastock sa bahay. So, ito yung sinasabi natin kung gusto nga may paraan.
Yes.
Right? And ayun nga, thankfully nga, I have you guys na talagang in-encourage ako at tinuruan ako. Right?
Yung so
And,
parang 2 things yun, di ba? It's the leave component. Nandun din yung workplace support component. So, kunwari, 3 months lang maternity leave mo pero babalik ka sa work. One of the, actually, siya talaga ng International Labor Organization na dapat yung mga employers, they provide workplace breastfeeding support to moms. Either payagan mong dalhin yung baby doon or mag-provide ka ng facility where they can express or store their milk. Bigyan mo sila yung time nila that they need to either breastfeed or express milk. Dapat paid yun. Hindi yun bawas sa oras nila. So may global standards tayo for that. Of course, hindi siya ganun kadaling i-apply in all scenarios of work. Kasi kuwari, ikaw Isel, creative, diba? So, may iba na sa opisina pumapasok, yung iba nagtitinda sa palengke, yung iba informally employed, may negosyo that they're running out of from their home or other, or farmers, kunwari. So, hindi siya ganun ka straightforward, pero there are standards to say na ito dapat, ganun dapat ang kasi nga breastfeeding, you want to support it and you don't want moms to be put in a situation where kailangan nilang pumili, magbe-breastfeed ba ako or magtatrabaho ako. Kasi parang anong klaseng dilemma naman yung ganun. No? Parang hindi siya katanggap-tanggap in the world.
I know. But slowly, I think, no, mas nagiging open na ang, let's say, like companies, like, well, dun sa the field ng trabaho ko, talagang naalala ko nung nagti-taping ako for isang himala, hintayin
Mm.
talaga nila ako bago minsan kasi
Yeah.
si Zemira pupunta sa akin, magfi-feed muna kami, "Okey, stop muna tayo, feed muna kami, break."
Oo.
But yeah, I'm thankful kasi ganun nga yung aking, trabaho, yung environment. But
Yes.
paano nga naman kung hindi conducive nga for breastfeeding? So I think dapat talagang, mas suportahan natin ang mga nanay dahil tayo ang bumubuhay
Yeah.
sa ating mga anak. I mean, dun sa part ng breastfeeding,
Mm.
right? Naku, ang
Yeah.
daming grabe ang dami palang sorry ako na yung dami
Hindi, okay lang yun.
nagtatanong. Ikaw
Ini-expect
magtanong
ko
ka pa.
naman na ikaw talaga magtatanong dito dahil
Nag-games na lang si kuya no sa ano.
nag-expect ko naman itong lalaroin ko dito.
Dali.
Siguro let's go down to our final question na lang kasi syempre
Sure.
we discussed some of the questions na nalista naman natin dito, napasadahan nyo na naman. So siguro we can go to dun sa kinakain ng mothers. The question here is ano ba yung mga pagkain na bawal kainin pag nagbe-breastfeed? Are you allowed to drink alcohol or wine? Are you allowed to drink yung
Ayan, gusto ko malaman.
malalangsa? Tapos medication. Yung bang iniinom na gamot ng mga nanay napupunta din ba sa mga anak niyo, yung mga ganun? Is there any truth to those things?
And malunggay, the power of malunggay.
Yeah.
Ayan.
Saka pag may sakit yung mommy, bawal bang magpa-breastfeed? Mahahawa ba yung anak? Yung mga ganun.
Okay. Sige ako muna. Okay.
Go for it.
Wala talagang yung like kunwari ba pag pain reliever ganyan or antibiotic, yun ba yung mga iniisip ninyo na yung mga usual na iniinom halimbawa ng nanay? They can take those medications. Yung mga absolute lang na bawal talaga na i-intake ng nanay habang nagbe-breastfeed. Actually, mga lang, yung mga undergoing treatment for their thyroid. So, yun, or those who are undergoing chemotherapy. Sila lang actually yung mga absolute na like, of course, there, on literature, meron din yung mga mothers who have active HIV or hepatitis B. But here in our country, if we are weighing it out, the benefits of breastfeeding will still outweigh the giving them formula, for example. So here we still support that. We just want to be sure that these mothers are properly given their antiretrovirals for HIV. And yung mommies na may active na hepatitis B, pag nanganak sila, yung babies, binibigyan agad yan ng immunoglobulin at ng hepatitis B vaccine. Lahat naman ng babies across the board, binibigyan ng hepatitis B vaccine. But for those who are born to mothers with hepatitis B, dinadagdagan ng immunoglobulin pa yan. So just to add that protection already, those antibodies, for them to be able to continue with breastfeeding as well. And then, di ba, ginagawa yung newborn screening. So, pag nakita doon sa newborn screening, halimbawa, na may galactosemia si baby or phenylketonuria, PKU, sila yung mga hindi rin pwedeng padedehin kasi nagkakaroon yun ng adverse effects sa kanila. It can cause severe mental retardation. And so,
Padedehin ng ano po yun, Tita Nad?
yung hindi sila pwede bigyan ng breast milk. So, binibigyan sila ng mga specially formulated na milks. So, re-refer yan sila agad sa mga geneticists to be able to do that. But otherwise, very, very few contraindications to breastfeeding. Kung may sakit ang nanay na halimbawa ubo-sipon, okay lang ituloy yun. Yung pagpapadede, mag-mask na lang. Kasi respiratory yung ubo-sipon, pwedeng mapasa through the droplets of the mother. But yung benefit doon, magkaka-antibodies naman si baby na maipapasa din ng nanay sa kanya. Even nga nung time ng COVID, hindi rin namin pinagbabawal na ipa-breastfeed si baby. Tuloy pa rin yung breastfeeding. Ano pa ba? Alcohol intake, okay. Alam ko natanong ako ni Isel nun dati.
Yes.
Para malaman po nila kasi merong mga
Nililinaw ko guys, siya ho yung nagtanong. Hindi ako.
Sabi ko,
Siya
one
nagtanong.
serving lang, di ba? Tama ba? Oo.
a
Sabi ko,
glass
one
of
lang.
wine.
But you have to wait. You have to wait 1 to 2 hours for the body to process it para less na yung lulusot sa breast milk. Yun. And then for caffeine, kung halimbawa coffee, gusto uminom ng nanay ng kape, pwede siya ng 1 to 2 servings of coffee, okay lang din yun. Pwede pa rin. If she wants to stay awake and she wants coffee. Yeah, it is
Kung
not...
yung one serving mo ng coffee din.
Ay,
Chill.
sige.
Tol
Dinouble
pala,
check
tol,
ko
no?
yun. Pwedeng tol na Starbucks halimbawa.
Wow.
Pwedeng tol, yan.
One yun.
Okay.
One serving yun.
Oh, hindi, max na yun.
Max.
Mas na,
Max
okay.
na yun. Oo.
Ba't kung sumobra, anong mangyayari kay baby?
More
Hyper?
caffeine lang mapapasa. Dinidilaan ako ng pusa namin. Okay.
Oo nga.
More caffeine lang yung mapapasa. Sa kay baby, we don't want that because it will also keep her awake naman. Keep baby awake. So, we don't want that also. Okay, meron pa ba? May line na
Tita Nats,
miss
yung
out
mga
ba ako?
pagkain, yung
Food,
pagkain naman tayo.
okay.
Like yung malunggay. Or kailangan
Walang
ba
bawal sa pagkain?
masabaw?
Oo.
Tama bang dapat mas
course you
masabaw
want-
ang kinakain?
Talaga naman, Koro. Of course, you want, nutritionally good food talaga. Okay? Koro, girl.
Siya din
Okay.
daw magsasalita din siya sa
Okay, sige. So, okay. Gusto niyo ng syempre yung bibigay kay mommy, you want nutritious food pa rin. Kasi you're producing milk and that's added calories. 500 calories more a day that you need to produce a good amount of breast milk and yun. So, kung yung kinakain mo naman parang mga mga junk food, hindi rin naman okay dun. Yun for you kasi ikaw yung kawawa. Ikaw yung nanay yung malulugi.
Tita Nats,
Um,
bakit ganon? Yung mga
Oo.
diba, minsan itong mga nanay, katulad ko, malakas na ako kumain, pero mas malakas akong kumain nung ako ay nagbe-breastfeed. Kasi, tama ba yun? Mas parang gutom ang nararamdaman ko nung nagbe-breastfeed ako.
Oo.
Pero sa lahat naman ng nag-breastfeed na mami, Tita Nats, parang ikaw lang yung hindi tumaba. Bakit gano'n? Madaya.
Hindi. Genetics na ata yun. Naman ako sa lola ko. Pero oo, ganun talaga. You really spend more calories because you're producing for your baby. Kaya mas magugutom ka rin talaga. Ako parang lang talaga, madali lang akong mabusog agad. So, parang na lang yun, nasa tao na lang tayo.
Nasa tao.
Oo, yung food that you take, it also matters. So, if you are taking in naman dahil gutom ka, kinakain mo naman pizza, halimbawa, isang buong pizza, yun yung mo, talagang excessive calories na rin.
Yeah.
Oo.
Nag-a-apply pa rin naman yung if you take in more calories than what you need, then naiipon lang sa katawan. So, when you're breastfeeding, you need a little bit more calories than what you would normally need. Pero, ganun pa rin. Same rule applies na parang wag ka rin namang sobrang dumamon. Especially for moms na may diabetes na even before pregnant or while pregnant. Yun, hindi pa, parang syempre don't want to introduce a new risk of a different disease naman dahil para lang ma-maintain yung nutritional needs mo while you're breastfeeding. So, yun pa rin, balance pa rin. So, yun. So, ako, ang ko dyan is, if you're not sure about a certain medicine, pwede mo naman ma-research naman yun Standard sa ng gamot yung for pregnant women. Naka-code yan kung gaano siya pwede siya or hindi.
Yeah.
You can always ask your doctor. You can always ask, have professional when in doubt. Tapos, yung things like alcohol, smoking lalo, yung mga gano'n na na well, ako to, personal opinion ko to. Hindi to research-based, pero kung pwedeng wag na lang. Di ba? Parang, although if for mental health, kuwari gusto mo mag-glass of wine every once in a while, then dun mo i-check kung how much you can really take. Pero alam naman natin with that, yung enough for you sa simula, eventually baka dumami. So, yung tolerance mo tumataas, baka mamaya kulang na sa iyo isang glass. So, you have to watch for those things din.
Yeah.
Ako, nagbago talaga ako nung nanganak ako.
Hmm.
Ay, mula na buntis ako, hindi na ako umiinom.
Sinisi pa sa breastfeeding yung appetite niya. No? Talagang, no, actually, nung nag-breastfeed ako, lumakas ako kumain.
Hindi. May tanong pa ako. When is the best time to wean for the breastfeeding?
Yan.
moms?
Nga pala.
To win.
Yeah.
Okay. Hindi ako yung best ano. Sige. Okay, so if you are invested already to breastfeed, then yung ideal talaga, exclusive breastfeeding until 6 months. Okay, and then you start your complementary feeding kay baby, but you still continue, ideally, yung breastfeeding until at least 1 year. It can be even as long as 2 years, as long as the mom and the baby are still happily breastfeeding and go happily in the middle of their breastfeeding journey. Okay. Madalas naririnig ko, may ngipin na yung baby, so dapat tigil na, ganyan, di ba? Or parang malaki na yung baby nyo, ganyan. Ako kasi, personally, I waited for my children to be ready to wean themselves. But there are those who they have no choice. Kunwari, kailangan na talaga mag-work ng mas regular and they cannot continue with na palaging kasama si baby or yung anak, bale, then there will may process yon ng pag-gradual na pag-wean off sa bata.
So, uututuin na lang,
it's-
no, Tita Nads?
Oo.
Kasi iba-iba yun sa bawat bata.
Quite a
din.
painful weaning journey din. Lalo na pag yung baby sobrang maganda yung attachment sa nanay. Medyo talaga siya, mas challenging siya. Pero yun nga, so the ideal is exclusive breastfeeding until 6 months. Go on until 1 year. Kung gusto nyo hanggang 2 years, why not?
Hanggang 3.
Okay? Hanggang 3.
Yung WHO
Oo.
recommendation is up to 36 months.
As long
If
as
you
mom
can.
and baby are willing talaga, you continue. They still get nutrients from the milk even beyond the exclusive breastfeeding part. Kahit sinasabi na sobrang mature na ng milk, meron pa rin silang nakukuhang nutrition at antibodies mula sa gatas ni nanay.
Saka,
Mm-mm.
if you do decide to wean, sana hindi dahil na-induce kayo ng marketing to say na, we have milk for children 12 months and above.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Pwede na yan. Stop mo na yung breastfeed. Bigay mo na tong milk namin for, ito na yung stage 1. Nasa stage 1 milk ka na. Ito na.
1-year-old.
Diba? Tapos pag 12 pag 6 months na to 1 year, ito na, stage na to. Tapos pag na 12 months na, ito na, next stage ka na, ito na yung gatas mo. So, parang yung implied message dun, huwag ka na mag-breastfeed. It's time for these follow-on milks na tinatawag nila or toddler milks or growing up milk na wala namang science to back up
Yes.
why you need to give them at that age.
When in fact, after age 1, regular table food na yung i-offer and the nutrient-dense food. So, ibang usapan na yun. So, yeah. So, yun din. What I tell my patients is after the age of 1, if you want to wean your baby already, and usually yun yung tanong ano yung magandang gatas na ibigay, ganyan. So, ako pag after 1-year-old, I would say if you want to give milk, then fresh milk is an option for you, but you don't overfeed them with milk also because you want them to get used to eating regular table food which is nutrient dense. You want to give them the balanced meals kasi minsan or madalas may nagiging fallback yung gatas. Kung kunwari mahina kumain ng regular food, ng sinuserve ng pamilya, ibibigay gatas. Yun yung pampatulog, yun yung pampabusog. And that also is a setup for future problems for the child as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Tapos, kung pansinin niyo kung paano i-market yung mga artificial formula for the older children, yung mga hindi nila pwedeng gawin dati sa infant, yung mga bawal na nilang gawin ngayon sa infant formula, medyo nililipat nila dun sa mga formula for bigger kids, di ba? So yung mga advertisement nila, grade school yung bata, tapos high IQ, yung mga medyo ganun na yung mga marketing nila, high IQ, honor student, kasi
Ano ibig sabihin ng fortified sa milk? Ano ibig sabihin ng fortified?
sabihin lang na 45 may in-add na nutrient or a
Minerals,
component
vitamins.
you wouldn't parang it's an add-on siya to something. So kunwari, meron kang food na fortified ng iron, kunwari, or fortified ng micronutrients. Kunwari, meron kang fortified rice or fortified na kunwari, tinapay na may dagdag na, or flour na fortified, dinagdagan ng folate. Parang ganun. So nag-add-on ka ng something dun sa pagkain to increase the nutritional value. So yun yung favorite din sa mga marketing kasi
Yeah.
fortified with whatever some complicated name of a
Nakikita ko lang
chemical
siya
na
sa shelf,
parang,
di ba?
So
ikaw
parang
na
electromagnetic nutrients of something. Parang ano to?
Grabe naman.
As a mamimili, ma'am, parang okay to 45. Parang sounds more,
Complete.
complete.
Oo.
Yung palang
Oo.
ibig sabihin ng 45. Buti na
Ayun
tanong
nila
natin.
yan. Oo.
Okay.
Oo.
So, siguro we've tackled almost everything eh.
Yeah.
Yung mga answers kasi nila, ang daming mga answers.
Sanga-sanga.
Sanga-sanga eh. So, na ano nila. But siguro at this point, guys, we'd like to hear your messages specifically for new parents, new moms, new dads, na yung iba nagsisimula pa lang sa kanilang breastfeeding journey, yung iba ongoing and,
Or
binubunot.
some then who decided na magbe-breastfeeding sila. Like, I know someone, yung una niya, hindi siya nakapag-breastfeed. And then with their second,
Yeah.
nag-breastfeed na siya.
Mm-mm.
Oo. Tapos biglang sabi niya, kaya ko pala. May enough milk pala ako. Yun yung na-share niya sa akin.
Ano yung mga last, bits of advice and message for all of them?
New parents, una, congratulations. Again.
Kaya nyo yan, ganon.
Yeah, hindi kasi syempre for as new parents, there are parang may dalawang things in your mind right now na gusto mong give your child the best possible future, and yung immediate is pagod na ako, puyat na ako, itong batang to iyak ng iyak, ayaw tumigil, 'di ba? So
Yeah.
So sa akin, ano yun, as fathers, like I know may friend ako na kinausap ko na parang I look back at yung sleepless nights na may umiiyak na baby in our room na kaming dalawa lang with the baby, kahit umiiyak siya, kahit puro poop, puro ihi, at tapos nirealize ko parang ang gusto kong sana na-capture ko yung kung pwede ko lang i-capture yung time na yun at pwede kong siyang balikan every once in a while kasi parang napaka-precious ng time na yun na madaling araw, the world is quiet. Yes, it can be stressful pero parang ang precious pala nung time na yun na parang kahit ganun yung feeling ko nung time na yun na parang nakaka-aburido. Parang after nang gusto mong balikan kasi it's such a precious time, but what you do in that time may impact talaga in the future. So I think breastfeeding is one of those things na parang ang sarap ng feeling pag nagawa mo kasi ang ganda na talagang setup for the health and future of your child. Kasi bukod sa nutritional aspect and the immune aspect, yung effect niya on intelligence and future productivity ng bata as an adult worker working, documented din, and there's a benefit to all of that. So, and there's very few things na ganun na pwede mong gawin early na talagang may tangible benefit to your child's future. And those sleepless nights are worth it. Pero maybe hindi naman sila ganun ka, they're not so bad na parang mamimiss mo din siya, na parang treat it as a precious time na, you know, the world is quiet and kayo lang yung magkakasama. Syempre, I mean, easier said than done. Hindi naman lahat ng pamilya are well-resourced. There are families who really wala talagang choice but, you know, to work multiple jobs. Gets naman namin yun, hindi naman lahat tayo pare-pareho. Pero, yeah, I mean, but especially for if you are struggling financially, di ba? Yung breastfeeding, unang-una, wala kang gagastusin for 6 months.
Walang gastos. Yes.
Laking bagay na nun. Si kuya nun, naalala ko, Yesel, nung after ni panganak ni Sandrine, nung parang confident na ako mukhang magiging successful ka sa breastfeeding, kinakaalala ko si kuya na nasa hospital kami. Kinakalculate ko nung, ito yung matitipid mo sa formula, ito, ilang sneakers yan. Siguro kaya nitong round trip ticket sa ganun. So, yung may mga ganung, may mga ganung aspect siya na, so, yeah, so your baby and your wife will need your support. So, yeah, be there for them. And you have a role to play, an active role to play. Hindi ka lang cheerleader. No, hindi to sa cheerleader. Although that's an important role.
Yeah.
You know, so may active role to play ka. So treat breastfeeding as something for the three of you na sa inyo.
Nadine, for moms.
Okay, ako. Woo! Where do I begin? I'll try to keep it simple, short and simple. Marami na namang nasabi si Paul, but if you want to give your baby the best start, then breastfeeding is one of those choices that you should make. If you have a lot of questions, parang kung marami kayong doubts about it or questions about it, don't hesitate to reach out to your OB-GYN and to your, kung pwede rin sana, yung future pedia ng baby ninyo. So you can discuss about it openly even before baby arrives. Para okay na yung mindset ninyo, medyo mas prepared na kayo because it can really be shocking. Labor and delivery, you know, there's an ideal na, sige, it will be a normal delivery, it will be beautiful and everything. Pero a lot of the time, meron talagang unexpected things that happen and it can really rattle the new parents. So, pag ganon, pag biglang nabulabog, parang biglang ang dami ng doubts na nagsaset in. So, if you are educated enough and prepared enough even before baby arrives, it will give you a good head start also. Breastfeeding, simula't simula pa lang. Pag the moment na sinalpak si baby kay mommy, ang dami-daming beautiful things that happen. Of course, we don't see it, but the moment that they get that colostrum, the moment that they smell mommy, the moment that they get all those good flora from mommy's body, ano na yun eh, parang yun na yun, that's the start of it. And if you can sustain it, then even better. It's rewarding, not just for the parents, it's going to be rewarding, most especially for baby. It will protect her from a lot of infections, ear infection, lung infection, sepsis even. And it will protect her in the long term from diabetes, from even asthma and allergies, and from, ano pa ba? Ang dami. And
Protects
and protects mom also from from particular cancers and yun nga, yung mga non-communicable diseases. And daddy is also happy pag ganun, di ba? Kasi hindi palagi dinadala sa ospital ang bata at si mommy. And
Protects you from extra gastos.
Yep.
Diba?
The best part.
you get such a different kind of attachment It's developed throughout the journey, during the breastfeeding journey. And wala ring kapalit talaga yung ano pa ba, yung neurocognitive development din. So, it isa talaga siyang naging thrust ng formula companies. Yun nga, si gifted child. Pero walang katapat ang gatas na mula sa ina. So hopefully you'll be able to get that dialogue with your healthcare providers so you would know exactly what to expect when baby is there already in your arms.
Ang tama-tama bang sabihin na you decide to breastfeed, don't let others decide it for you, even your doctors. So kung mommy ka and you want to breastfeed, you are decided ka, yun talaga yung resolve mo is to breastfeed, then if your health professionals are not supportive of that, then find another health professional who will support you. Kasi unfortunately, hindi rin naman lahat ng health professionals are breastfeeding advocates. Not to judge anyone, pero it's just the truth. Meron talagang mas supportive, merong mas hindi. So, i-decide mo yun. Don't let them decide that for you. So, let ikaw mag-decide on and then let their care plan for you and your baby, fit that decision of yours para mas matulungan ka nila. And then, congratulations in advance for good job.
No, but thank you, Tita Nats and Tito Paul. Nung binabanggit nila yung mga last words sila, naalala ko yung moment na nanghihingalo pa ako from the anesthesia. And then, yung first time kong hinawakan si Zandrine and Zemira. And then, first time silang nag-latch. Iba talaga nga naman yung pakiramdam. And we just thank you, both of you. I mean, para sa aming pamilya na nandyan kayo to support us. And I hope sa ating mga manonood, magkaroon din kayo ng ganitong klaseng, community or family that will help support your breastfeeding journey.
Sa lahat ng mga nanonood, again, kung gusto nyo ng advice, reach out na lang kay Doc Paul sa kay Doc Nadine. Pati kayo ngayon.
Yung mga numbers sila sa baba.
Natin yung actual, but no, seriously guys, thank you so much. Yung journey namin as parents won't have been as rewarding and, as smooth sailing kung wala kayo dyan. Nadine has been really, really patient with us and Paul as well. Yung bantay nyo sa amin, especially with the vaccines and all.
Spoiled kami, sobrang spoiled. We're super duper thankful.
Yep.
Tita Nats at Tito Paul.
Kaya sa lahat po ng nanonood sa atin for this episode, I hope you learned as much as we did. Ang dami pa rin nating natutunan, surprisingly, from all of what we discussed here, the topics that we discussed. And sa lahat po ng viewers natin for this episode, if you have any stories that you want to share, both daddies and mommies na going through a breastfeeding journey, those who chose not to do breastfeeding, and those who are planning to do breastfeeding or in the middle of that journey, we'd like to hear yung mga kwento nyo sa amin. Of course, we'd like to see in the comment section yung stories that you can share, and maybe we can help other parents, go through this journey that we did go through ourselves as well. One takeaway, breastfeeding, no question, is still the best option for any parent, di ba?
Ang masasabi ko lang, kaya nyo yan!
Kaya niyo yan.
Kaya nyo yan. Kung talagang nagda-doubt kayo at first, natural lang yun. That's what happened to me. I cried for 2 weeks dahil pakiramdam ko I'm unable, insufficient.
Yeah.
But, again, dapat may grit ka at sasabihin mo sa sarili mo, no, I will do this for my child.
Yep.
I know that this is the best for her.
Go parents!
Yeah.
Go parents!
Thank you, Tita Nats and Tito Paul, for your time. We super appreciate
Thank you.
it.
Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Happy breastfeeding month.
Happy breastfeeding! O diba, nag-extra na rin pala si
Oo nga,
Tita Nats.
ayos yan.